What's up, guys, and welcome to the Bearded Jeeper podcast. On today's episode, we talk about a very unique recovery option for your Jeep. We interview Kyle from Moose Knuckle, and we talk about his recovery shackles. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Bearded Jeeper podcast. Today, my special guest is the owner of Moose Knuckle, Kyle. So another Kyle. It's kind of weird saying my own name because I'm Kyle, you're Kyle, but how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was funny when we first connected. We were both Kyles, and we were both from Claremont, Florida, and then you're from a different
Claremont, New Hampshire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like complete opposite spectrum, straight down, but it's pretty unique.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. So for those of you, or for those who might not know about your company, about your product, I have one here for the people who are going to be watching the podcast. This is a Moose Knuckle, but kind of give a little bit of background on how you started the company, why you started it, and any plans going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, down here in Florida, we have a lot of big lifted trucks, and you tend to see a lot of the truck nuts hanging from the back, the plastic ones. And
right.
Always thought they were funny, but they didn't really serve a purpose. And I always see a lot of empty hitch receivers, when I drive around. And I figured it was a good idea to like create something that was functional, but also solves that, thing that's happening nationwide. There's a lot of laws prohibiting those truck nuts, those plastic truck nuts, for obscenity reasons. So, people aren't able to, fly their flag of masculinity or however you want to call it. So I figured this was a more subtle, kind of little more tasteful way of actually accomplishing that, but also giving you a good recovery, hitch point. So just kind of saw an opportunity, thought it would be fun. We also kind of saw my wife, got a Jeep JL Moab, and we really loved that thing, and we wanted to kind of immerse ourselves in that culture and the off-road and vehicle recovery culture and that whole thing, and travel around and go to events and clubs and festivals and all that. And we kind of saw this as a cool opportunity to have some fun and hang out with some people and make some product and make a living at the same time. So kind of dove in head first, and here we are creating products, recovery products. So
yeah, and these are awesome. Not only, like you said, they serve a purpose, but they look cool. The powder coating, or is it powder coating on these, or?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really well, and it looks like it's going to hold up, and it's rated for 10,000 pounds. So I think that's going to help a lot of people out recovering.
Yeah, we didn't want to skimp on quality, so we made sure that we made a strong product, because it can be seen as kind of a novelty at the same time as, like an ornamental shackle that you'd hang from your truck. So we wanted to make sure that we made something that, wasn't just funny to hang from your truck, but it wasn't going to break on people. It was going to be really strong and functional. So we made sure that, obviously you saw with the packaging, we don't want to skimp on stuff like that. And we want to give someone, something cool, to unpackage. I always kind of geeked out on stuff like that. Like you get something and it's just in a hang tag in a plastic bag, and you just kind of toss it aside.
Yeah, let me grab this packaging. So those who are watching this, you're going to get to see it, but those who are listening, this is...
Yeah, I have one too.
It's a really nice box, and it's got like a thick piece of foam in there, so it's not going to rattle and shake around and destroy your box. And I was just amazed when I opened it, like the quality of how well it was packaged. I mean, you take a lot of pride and effort in your quality in your product, and it shows.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the idea behind that too is to kind of reduce waste also, so someone's going to have a tendency to maybe not throw that packaging away and keep it for something cool to put on their bookshelf or store something in. So then, we're kind of helping the earth at the same time, reducing waste and stuff like that. So trying to do our part there as well. I know we're using a lot of raw materials to make the product, but if we can, not just take a plastic bag and a hang tag and toss it in the trash right when we get our product, I think that's a goal that we want to kind of stick by. Reusable kind of packaging. So
Now, when you were designing these initially, did you have a bunch of weird prototypes that looked completely different than what the final product is, or did you kind of go straight to the final what it looks like now?
no, I mean, I utilized all the resources that we have now, like 3D printing. Like this is an early printed version. You can see it doesn't have any of the logos or
Oh, yeah.
debossing or any of the marks on the side. That's just a plastic, printed part. I use a great company called 3dallp.com. I work with them on all my prototyping, and they're amazing. They do just a great job, and they get it done super fast. And they can make anything. I'll show you some other stuff as we get further into the show. But I have some almost production ready prototypes, which is super impressive by this company. And I mean, you can if you're good at CAD and you can get your product super close and just hand it off to them, they can make it out of anything. And it's like metal sintering, laser sintering. So like one of the first metal prototypes, this is actually a printed part.
Oh, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it looks almost exactly like
yep,
the finished product.
yep. It's just that's stainless steel right there, and that's printed. Use it using laser sintering. So it's
So is
pretty
it
cool.
just print it layer by layer, basically, like just or like how does I'm not sure. I've seen 3D printers before, but never like a metal one. So I'm guessing it. I don't know. Does it melt it, and
It
how's it go about?
it basically shoots a laser into dust and then builds it, layers it and builds it as it, grows the part. So
Oh,
it's just,
okay.
shooting dust in there using the laser to almost micro weld, the metal together, and it just kind of grows that part. So it's pretty cool stuff. Um, but yeah, you can see kind of it's like the inside of this is a printed, I don't know if you could see that. Yeah. See how it's
Yeah, yeah.
honeycomb? So that's a plastic printed part, but that's how they fill the void, which is pretty cool.
Well, that way you're not filling it with a bunch of product. It's just it kind of takes up the space and adds a little structure to it.
Yep. Yeah, we only had some slight modifications before we went to production prototyping and then full production. So it went pretty well. So
How long did it take you to go from your initial like thought process to finalize product in a package ready to ship?
a little over a year. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, getting production all dialed and how we wanted it as far as quality standards. Just from concept to final product, that was about a little over a year. So pretty exciting. We just got our full stock of inventory in. It's like the beginning of May of this year. So this is all still very brand new. So,
That's awesome. So is it just you like you? Like are you the only one in the company or is there do you have people working
my
for you?
wife and myself.
That's it.
My
So
wife and I are a team. Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
So
So
like do you have any struggles working with your wife or do you guys work pretty well together? You're able to put out the product and not fight and bicker about the whole process.
no, I mean we bounce ideas off of each other, and I think we work really good together. We've been married for almost 15 years or 16 years in September. So I mean we're best friends and we get along great. So we she has a creative mind. She did a lot of like embroidery and stitching and sewing handbags and stuff like that um, when before we had our kids, and so I think have that creative mind that we can work together and collaborate on ideas, which is important. So
Yeah, it's really important to have someone that's going to be there and support you and help you through the hard times as well as the good times. Now, when you first started selling these, were they like an instant hit down there, especially in Florida where you are, or did it take a while? Are they like how is sales and everything going so far for you?
well, the unfortunate part is we started selling right when COVID-19 hit. So things are kind of taking off a little slow, just because, everything, closed down for a while, and it was hard for us to get out and create marketing and stuff like that. So, and we had a bunch of, trips planned, events planned, and a lot of them got canceled. So, for example, we sent a bunch of product to Idaho off-road for an event that they have, and that got completely canceled. So there's a lot of things like that where we sent a lot of product out and it didn't get utilized, it didn't get in front of people because of the pandemic. So we're hoping this passes soon so we can kind of get back into marketing and get out there in the field and kind of get exposure for the product. And that's our biggest hurdle right now, is just letting people know it's out there. That's tough to do as a startup. You have to really put a lot of work and effort into getting your product known. So
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize too, I think, I know it's big in the off-roading community and the vehicle community. You have those people that think, "Oh, I have a couple thousand Instagram followers." You're begging companies to send you like free products, and what they don't realize, especially for small startup companies, is they have to front, like that's all their costs. Like they're sending you that, but that's taking away from their profit, and that that if you don't return on that, then they're not making anything, and it doesn't look good on you either, because they gave you free product and you're just not doing anything with it.
right, right. Yeah, it's definitely a balance. You got to find the right people and to get you exposure and help you grow, but you also have to kind of reciprocate and make sure you're hooking those people up that helped you grow. And that's something that I hope to do is, all the people who started with us, hopefully we can like keep them in new product, keep them involved, and have some fun together. So
Yeah, I think it's a really cool concept, and I had heard about it before, and then when I had the podcast with Midwest Jeeper Brian, he kind of like brought it back up, and it made me think about it again. And he said he had talked to you, and I thought, oh well, he'd be cool to have on the podcast, and I think he kind of reached out and talked to you a little bit, and then I reached out, and then we got connected. But this is hopefully a way so people can learn a little bit more about your product.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Brian, we've been bouncing ideas back and forth too, so he's been a big help. So he's got ideas, and I've got plenty of them, and we got this is the first of many products, hopefully. So I actually brought some other stuff to show you if you want to see it.
Yeah, let's see it. I heard prototype and I got excited.
Yeah. Well, right now we have the Mohawk Receiver. It's a 2-inch hitch receiver. Oh, some stuff on it right there, but it's pretty cool. We're pretty excited about this one. So what we did with
that would look awesome on my new Ford Raptor.
Yeah. So what we want to do with this one is kind of beef up the attachment area. So for standard 3/4 inch shackle, you have your 7/8 inch pin, but we added material around what would normally be your standard size kind of hitch link or shackle receiver, just to give it more strength. So it has a 10,000 pound workload limit, but we also gave it another hole so you could turn it and use it as like a class 1 or class 2 hitch, because I know a lot of people like to when they're going out to the trail, they like to put luggage racks on the back of their Jeeps or their off-road vehicles. So we wanted to not only make it a shackle receiver, but a class 1-2 hitch. So pretty cool. We also put a radius on this edge right here on the inside edge.
Yep.
So you can use it with soft shackles so it won't tear them. So it's a big radius, so you can just throw a soft shackle through there to make a quick connection. So
yeah, that would be awesome, just to throw in the back of your Jeep or back of your truck and be able to yank someone out. Or I mean, because if you have a receiver hitch on there, like that's going to be a good tow point anyway, and then to add that on there just adds it a little bit more, and you throw a moose knuckle through there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, that was kind of the whole premise from the get go, is to have this kind of as the package. Hang it, empty receivers. There's so many empty receivers out there, and it's right between your legs, so to speak, your wheels. So. but it'll come with a shim. It's going to be a grade 8 steel shim that will go in here for a class 1 or 2 hitch. So that way you can just crank down a hitch on there and tow lightweight trailers or luggage racks or mountain bike racks or whatever you want to put on the back of your truck or vehicle. So pretty cool. It's got right in the front, it's got laser etching for the logo, and the logo is kind of cool.
I like the logo, Mohawk.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
and
awesome.
Then it's got CNC engraved, just kind of the specs.
Yep, 10,000 pound max.
Yep.
And the Moose Knuckle logo.
I keep going the wrong way when I do the camera. So. It's pretty cool. So that's we're kind of starting production on that one right now. Hopefully we can get that available to customers soon. So we're in the pre-order stages of that. But we're excited about that. And then I also brought another one. So we call this. So this is a prototype too. It looks like it looks finished, right?
Yeah, it looks completely done. It looks like a solid piece of metal.
Yeah. So looks like your standard hitch pin lock, right?
Right.
It's actually, we call it the faux pas. It's actually just a spring-loaded fake lock hitch pin.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, so, I don't like messing with keys, and a lot of people have just your standard clevis pin, hitch lock or hitch pin on there.
Yep.
So if you're someone who doesn't care and you just put a hitch pin in with a clevis pin, I mean, this is going to deter a thief more than, it looks just like a hitch lock. So
yeah, they're just going to see that and be like, oh, well, I'm going to move on to something a little easier to get into.
Yep. And it's just a push, a quarter turn, and then it slides out. So there's a mechanism inside that just lets you put it on real quick. Boom.
Yeah. So if you pull on it real quick, it won't just pull right off. So they might think it's locked, but then they don't know the little. It's like one of those Chinese finger traps. You kind of have to push them in first and then pull them out.
Yep. Yeah. So the premise is just most thieves have to cut it off in some sort of grinder or something like that. So hopefully, if they see this, they won't want to do that. And it's got a rubber cap that makes it look like a normal hitch lock and everything like that.
Yeah, if you make it out of strong enough material, they'll have a hard time cutting through it, and maybe it'll deter them that way.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be made out of the same carbon steels as like your Reese or Draw Tight or Kurt hitch pin locks. So it'll be the equivalent or stronger, of those. So pretty cool. Can you believe that's a printed part?
That's just insane. It looks completely like you machined it that way.
Yeah, it's nuts. So this
the world of 3D printing has just gone insane.
Yep. So this is from that same company. They did the prototype for me, and this is almost production ready. It's pretty crazy.
So when you send them the print, they print one out for you or a couple out for you, send them to you, and then you just kind of inspect them, make sure they're what you want, and then go from there.
Yeah, you can make changes and then get another one made and just keep going until you're happy with the part, and then gives you the opportunity to send them to your production house and have them have something in their hands to mimic. And that's often a big hurdle when you're dealing with production is you can communicate with somebody, but if they don't have anything to touch and feel, it sometimes becomes a problem and it doesn't come out like you want it to. So it's pretty handy.
Now, like from the whole COVID thing, has that slowed down your ability to make the products too, or has it stayed
not
pretty?
Not very much.
No,
not very much at all. No.
That's good. I mean,
a little bit.
What about shipping times? Is that I know at least when I order anything off of Amazon lately, it used to take a couple of days, and now it takes like a week and a half to get here.
It's mostly shipping cost. Like it costs more to ship stuff, and obviously, there's reasons why. It's just harder for all the companies to like UPS and everybody to ship stuff just because of COVID. So the shipping costs went up. So that's been the biggest struggle.
I'm sure they're shipping more stuff too.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, and we have another one that I think is pretty cool. This one's kind of in its early stages. This is you have your typical kind of soft shackle.
Yep.
So we have kind of our take on a soft shackle, just a little stronger. Um, so instead of just your knotted ball at the end, it's got a quick little T, like a dog bone at the end,
Oh,
and
that's pretty neat.
yeah, it's rubber coated. So if you do have a break, and it's light and rubber coated. So if you do have a break, it's not gonna, have a lot of mass behind it to go firing at something. And if it does hit anything, it's nice and soft, so it deadens the blow. And it's got a fiberglass rod that's machined on a bevel. So when you put it in put it through the loop like this, it wants to kind of pull the rope. Best way to show you, it pulls the rope inward instead of it having the chance to maybe, go outside of like a normal soft shackle, and it'll be stronger material than, sometimes these balls come untied if they're not made right, or they might break,
Yeah,
kind of break off this.
or if they're a cheap material or something.
Right. So we're going to use some, high grade Dyneema, and then some really cool materials up here. So we're pretty excited. This one's in the early stages, and we're testing it and trying to get the final product dialed, but we're pretty excited about releasing these as well. Kind of a different twist on soft shackles.
And with that too, you'll have a little bit of weight to it. So if it does fail or something, it's going to drop hopefully and not go flying.
Yep. And hopefully, because we're using a little stronger material here, you don't, with soft shackles, you have to orientate them like this. So like say your link is there, you're supposed to orientate them like that.
Yep.
When you pull. So if someone, if it slips around and it goes like this, since the material's stronger, it's not going to, fail as easily. So that's kind of the idea behind it, is just to make it a little bit more bulletproof as far as human error is concerned, as far as orientating it when you're recovering the vehicle. So kind of cool.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. Definitely adding more to the recovery game.
Yeah, we got a lot of ideas, and hopefully we can make them all, come to fruition and give people some cool stuff to use while they're out on the trail.
So when do you think some of those are going to be available for people watching this, and they might want to get their hands on these?
Oh man, I wish I could give timelines, but yeah. We're gonna just take it slow and do it right, and just kind of release them as they're ready and as we feel like they're right for the market. But I don't want to rush things out. I want to make sure it's good and give people some good quality product. So that one, I mean, it could be next year, but we're not afraid to kind of show the market what we're trying to do, and we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, and then you can make sure you test it and make sure it's going to hold up to abuse, rather than just release a subpar product just to get something out there. I like how you're doing that, and that way you can kind of, if you're going to put your name brand on something, you don't want to release just junk into the world, and then people are going to say, oh, well, that's just another one of their crappy products. But I can tell you're doing nice quality products and you're taking your time, like you said.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hopefully we can get to a point where we get a more pre-production products or items in stock, where we can give them out to all of our. You got me?
Yeah, your video was freezing just a little bit, and I think you're good now.
Okay, cool. I was saying just hopefully we can get some more pre-production product in hands that we can get out to all of our brand ambassadors and influencers, and get them to use it before it goes to market, and get feedback. And if we need to, make changes and tweak it, or just learn from it. Like if it's already ready for production and it has to kind of go into production, then the next version of it will have all that feedback. So I want to get everybody involved and be a sponge, so.
Now, are you looking, sorry, lost my train of thought there. When you said you guys have a Jeep JL, do you guys go off-roading, or you go mudding any down in Florida, or how did you kind of get involved in the whole
a little bit
game?
A little bit. We're kind of new to that whole scene, and we're learning. So But we're trying to, like I said, we were trying to immerse ourselves in it before the pandemic hit, and deeper, and hopefully we can do that as everything kind of opens back up more and more. So we got some plans for the rest of the year, and hopefully we can do some fun stuff, and just kind of get in that culture. It seems like a very enthusiastic, happy, everybody seems so pumped, and like when they're out on the trail and they're in their Jeeps, and everybody just seems happy to be out, you know, in the wilderness, mudding and having fun. So we thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely always a good time hanging out with your friends, just going, seeing places that a lot of people don't get to see because they don't have a capable vehicle. So anytime
Yep.
you want to come up to New Hampshire and hit any trails up here, let me know. We'll set something up for sure.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Yeah, same thing down here too. We
Yeah,
live in Clare. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I keep meaning to make it down to Jeep Beach, but it's definitely a long drive.
Yeah, we were going to try to go to that this year too, and it just didn't work out. So that's a huge event. So
Yeah, definitely the more people you can have aware of your product and the more people that see your product, it's going to be better.
yep. Yeah, we actually live in one of the hillier parts of Florida, Claremont. It's like right outside of Orlando in Central Florida, but we have like the second highest point in Florida. About it's like 5 minutes outside of the city. So people think Florida flat, and it's not. There's a lot of hills right in Central Florida, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
A
I've
lot of
only
off
been
road.
to Florida once, and it was just to go to Disney. So all I remember is flat, but I'm sure there are some hills, but we probably from up New Hampshire up north and stuff, or anyone up north is like, oh, that's just a tiny little hill, and you guys are like, that's a mountain to us.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. So how did you get into jeeping?
So I got into jeeping by I first had a Jeep when I was younger, and it was like one of my first vehicles. It ended up being kind of crappy, so I didn't get to use it. And then I had, as really my first vehicle that I drove quite a bit when I first got my license, was a Jetta, a Volkswagen Jetta. It was one of those kind of old red boxier square ones. And when I just saw this dirt road and I wondered where it went. And my buddy and I were like, "Oh, let's go down it," and it just got narrower and narrower, and we couldn't turn around. Turns out it was an old Class 6 road that turned into a Jeep trail, and we went through the whole thing, scraping and grinding everything, and made it out luckily. But then I was like, I really need something better for this, so I started to get into Jeeps, and I kind of fell off for a little bit, but now I'm back into it and hitting it strong.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, it's just such a great community to be a part of, and everyone's willing to help each other. And I definitely could have used some of these Moose Knuckle shackles when I was trying to recover my Jeep when I snapped the axle in half.
Yeah.
We literally had a couple winches, like winching it up, holding it up into the air, like a winch line wrapped around a tree, and like used it as like kind of a crane hoist to lift it up so we could really assess the damage.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, we were ready to do an axle change right there in the woods, but luckily we had a guy with an off-road tow truck able to come out and rip me off the trail and called AAA to tow me back to the house.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Very cool.
So, what are your future plans for Moose Knuckle? I mean, you showed us a few products and stuff. What do you kind of hope comes of your company, and what would you like to see happen?
I mean, just to continue to kind of develop products, and hopefully to do a lot of traveling. We just want to go to events and live life and have some fun. We have a 17, almost 18-year-old that's going to be out of the house soon. We have a 14-year-old, almost 15-year-old that's going to be gone, in the next 3 years to college. So it's going to be time to start traveling again, and kind of see some stuff, live some life, go to some, maybe some motocross events, music festivals, and set up some booths and hang out with people. Uh, Go to a bunch of Jeep clubs, off-road clubs, all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the game plan, is to get out there and immerse ourselves in the culture. So
Yeah, definitely be nice to have your freedom back with the kids out of the house.
yeah, well, I mean, we have it easy. We have great kids, so we're very fortunate. And, they make good grades and they're awesome. So we're pretty proud of them.
Did they what's school like down there with the whole COVID situation? I know up here in New Hampshire it's kind of like 3 days in school and then a couple days remote learning and stuff like that.
Well, they actually just went this week was their first week of school down here for our county in Florida. So
Yeah,
they're just kind of getting into it. But it's just, wear masks. They gave our kids three options. You could do, the virtual, the full time, and then kind of part time. But ended up that the school that my son goes to only allowed, or they eliminated the virtual because there wasn't enough kids. So they're
right.
just, they're taking temperatures when they arrive at school, and they're making them wear masks, and and away we go. So
Yeah, I'm ready for this whole thing to be over with so we can go back to living life and doing stuff that we want.
yeah, for sure, me too. So we're just trying to do our part to get it in the past and get this behind us. So hopefully it happens fast.
Yeah, I sure hope so. So I'll make sure to link all your social media and everything in the show notes of this episode. And um, your website's mooseknuckle.com, right?
Yeah, it's actually moose-knuckle.com.
Moose-knuckle. So anyone who wants to check out the site, order products, and make sure to check in for those new prototype products. You'll see those on the website hopefully soon, right? And
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
you never know in today's world. So
Yep.
I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast today, though, and show off your products and stuff. And is there anything else you want to add before we close it out here?
No, I think I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to expose ourselves through your channel, through your exposure. So we appreciate that. It's a cool opportunity. So thanks for
Yeah,
that.
awesome. Anytime. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you liked it, make sure you leave a rating, go leave a review. As always, stay bearded, stay jeepin'. I'm out.